got it to work. We got it to go, Jay.
All right, Greg. That's great, man.
Jason's. Is that your new accent you're trying out?
It's a new character I've been working on. Guy that gets on the radio that has a terrible voice.
Hey, guys. Hey, man.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
that's actually a pretty good one. I don't know.
This is Jordan calling in from the zoo. Hey, how you doing in there?
Uh-oh, we got voices coming out everywhere. Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of Dead Men Walking. The episode that even Marty McFly
you got to listen to the Dead Men Walking podcast.
says that you need to listen to the Dead Men Walking podcast. And the voice that you heard just now was the guys from Carpe Fide podcast, Justin and Jesse. How are you fellas doing?
Yo, we're great. I'm better than him, so
Welcome.
I'm really great.
Welcome, guys. So, we're going to get into a little bit of stuff about tech censorship, a little bit about social media platforms, how we can protect ourselves, what we should do as Christians looking forward. And we just thought we'd have a conversation about it. I know online, Carpe Fide had posted a few things about how to kind of protect yourself against that, the privacy issue we're seeing right now. And it just kind of intrigued me. And I met the fellas down at G3 conference and really liked what they were all about. Had to buy some of the Come and Take It t-shirts to support that. That's one of my son Oliver's favorite t-shirts to wear. We wear it proudly and want to have them on. So before we get into a little newsy news, why don't you guys just give a little introduction for the listeners and tell us what you're all about.
Little introduction, not 3 hours.
That means you, Jesse.
So I'm Justin. I'm Justin Gruber. We both reside here in South Jersey. It's different than North Jersey, so don't get it confused. It's totally different places. Okay. So yeah, don't get that messed up. We're in South Jersey. We pastor a small church, Missio Dei Church. We are very thankful for a committed group, small but very committed group of ever expanding, because we take seriously the gospel command to be fruitful and multiply.
They said a little one.
Oh, a short one.
Short one.
And basically we started a podcast.
He's just getting going, guys.
No. This is the whole story. We started a podcast because we just wanted to be able to edify mostly just our friends and our extended group here in South Jersey. And that accidentally took off and did something a lot more than that. And we were able to just start making t-shirts and said we should use this for something. And we got linked up with James Coates up at Grace Life and his wife Erin, and we used those to basically raise some funds for him while he was illegally in jail, detained for his ability to simply worship God at his church. So that was great. We're able to support them in that ministry opportunity. It's pretty much how we got started.
And here we are today.
That's awesome. Well, brothers, we are happy to have you on, and I know it's going to be a fun episode. Jay, do we want to get into a little newsy news before we start?
Newsy news.
Let's go.
News. We got some news.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, sir. We'll just do two quick news stories so we move it right along. I'm going to start out with in the news. Right now, when this is being recorded, we are in the middle of the Whoopi Goldberg suspended from The View after saying the Holocaust was not about race. Did you see this?
Oh, absolutely.
She has threatened to quit. Now she's mad.
I was watching the show as it happened. No,
that's
at the dentist.
You watch that every day.
No, I was in my living room.
Nope. No Christians should not watch this show.
No.
You've been canceled.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but so we're in the throes of that. And it was just amazing because one, of course, there's a double standard there.
Yeah.
Gina Carano, who was on, The Mandalorian, she said sometimes conservatives feel like they're in a concentration camp. They fired her.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg goes out there and says, "Oh, this isn't about race." And they go, 2 weeks to think about it.
Right.
Slap on the wrist.
And then she threatened to quit.
Yeah. Now, please.
Now she's
please.
It's like,
please quit.
Oh,
guys,
darn
I
it.
want you guys to stop misnaming her. Her name is Karen Elaine Johnson. If you cops stop calling her by her wrong name.
What do you mean her name is not Whoopi Goldberg?
No, it's
what is this?
Karen. So can we talk about how funny this is?
Karen. That's
literally
great.
She is a
Karen.
Karen.
She is.
Right? who then stole. She co-opted Jewish culture by claiming the name Goldberg. Then decided that Hitler wasn't actually a racist. Okay.
Yeah.
What happened here, guys?
Oh
what
my gosh.
Wow.
This. Oh my gosh. why would you start with this, guys? Why?
Just to make you guys agitated.
Yeah. we usually just try to go a little slow, but this time we're just going to throw you guys in the deep
Go
end.
right into it.
See what happens.
And running right now, guys.
The crazy thing with this one for me was it's kind of like CRT on display. Like if you wanted to know what CRT was, the critical race theory, she basically summed it up in that statement and said it has to be if you look white or act white or have a different color skin than someone who is black, well then it's not race and it's not racism. And she kind of summed that kind of progressive view up by stating that, and then slipped up and went, oh, well, I didn't mean exactly that. But at the
Whoops.
core, that's what they believe.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't about race. It can't
Such
be about
virtue.
race.
So virtue.
It is funny how Jewish people are slowly moving into the white category.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Whoops.
they've pushed them right over into our category.
Yeah,
see?
that's true.
See,
Yeah.
look, getting slaughtered by the millions gets you nothing nowadays, in modernity. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure she explicitly stated that they're white. Like,
Yeah, it's just two white
can't
groups.
be about race.
It's just
this is my
bad.
Whoopi Goldberg voice. It
Can't
can't
be
be
about race.
Can't be about race.
They're white,
Yeah.
and
It's-
determined we're white.
It's just you
Jeez.
dude, stop doing Whoopi Goldberg. That is not even close.
I know.
Not
I can't. It's
close.
impossible. I cannot
Not
smoke
close
enough
at all.
cigarettes.
Oh,
Goodness,
man.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, Chad.
I thought it was pretty
No,
good.
no, that's worse.
It remind, if you guys have any Sister Act 2 lines that you could just read with that voice, that'd be great.
Wait, what? I'm
Top
sorry.
10, top 10 movies of all time. Okay,
I
next.
only remember
next
Purple
news
Rain.
news.
lines.
No, just-
Only Purple Rain.
I just wish the
That's a great
Borg would
movie.
have took out her race on Star Trek. Maybe that would have.
Oh,
Is that too deep?
oh,
Guinan?
man.
She was Guinan on Star Trek. Come
Oh,
on.
was she?
I don't
Boy,
know.
was she.
Really?
So remember this is so sad.
I don't know
Whoopi
anything
Goldberg's
about
career
Whoopi,
is
I guess.
littered with garbage.
Yeah.
I mean what I said earlier. I've been talking to my wife. I believe if Christian
That's
Look,
good. That's good for your marriage. You should do that
ladies,
more.
no, right, do that. Amen. Ladies, if you watch The View, I really think you need to start to ponder and meditate on your salvation, because it is nothing but a demonic, evil,
Right.
disgusting cesspool of garbage.
Yeah.
And I mean top to bottom. If they lose Whoopi Goldberg, they will go down 2%, which will take them from overtly demonic, right, down
Mhm.
to absolutely evil. That's all they'll do. Only a little improvement.
Man. Joy could hold it up though, right? Joy,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
right?
Yes.
I mean,
if by holding it up you mean a pentagram, yeah, she can hold it right up.
Maybe once. Maybe once.
wait a second. Is she from Jersey? She's
Don't
probably
you
from
dare.
the north side of Jersey.
Don't you dare.
Definitely.
So
If she
don't
is,
you
she's
dare.
definitely
She has
from the
that-
north side.
Yeah,
You
man,
guys-
it's
you
that
guys know her.
accent. It's the
You guys
accent.
know which president came from New Jersey, right?
I don't even want to talk about it. But,
Oh, the
okay.
worst, the worst president. The racist president came from,
Which
Woodrow
one?
Wilson. You heard of him?
Oh, Wilson. Yeah.
Awful, evil guy. Remember he showed that he showed that movie in the White House, the racist movie. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the guy was a eugenicist. He was awful and evil. We
He's
do
a
not have-
globalist. Yeah.
we are Nazarene. We are Nazareth. Okay, what does anything good come from Nazareth?
Yeah. And what fellowship hath light with darkness?
Exactly. Throwing in the Bible.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, welcome to
Newsy
Dead Men
news.
Walking
Yeah, yeah,
Contest
right, yeah,
podcast where we talk about Whoopi Goldberg for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we got
So,
next?
No, I love it. So here is the second newsy news, which will get us into a little bit of our topic this evening. From Deadline.com on February 5th, 2022, GoFundMe reverses plans on Freedom Convoy donations after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis promises investigation. The GoFundMe website has reversed course and decided to automatically refund donations to the truckers organization, leading a protest against Canadian pandemic restrictions. That's after politicians vowed to investigate the website's original plans for dealing with donations to the truckers. And I just wanted to
I think you have their
read-
mission statement for
yeah, I
GoFundMe,
want
don't
to
you?
read a
Yeah.
little bit of that mission statement, what
Yeah.
they said. GoFundMe supports peaceful protests, and we believe that was the intention of the Freedom Convoy 2022 fundraiser when it was first created. We now have evidence from law enforcement that the previously peaceful demonstration has become an occupation.
An occupation.
Yeah, exactly. With police reports of violence and other unlawful activity.
Dun, dun,
To
dun.
ensure GoFundMe remains a trusted platform, we work with local authorities to ensure we have a detailed, factual understanding of events taking place on the ground. So let me read this last sentence. Yeah. So I wanted to get to this last part. So it's let me see here. Given how this situation has evolved, no further funds will be directly distributed to the Freedom Convoy organizers. We will work with organizers to send all remaining funds to credible and established charities verified by GoFundMe.
Yeah, what a scam this is. So essentially, they were collecting small donations.
Yeah.
Got about $10 million worth. Then they said, oh, we heard there was some shenanigans going on at the convoy, which haven't been confirmed. Said, we're going to pull that and we're going to give them to our credible charities of our choice. And if you want to fill out this 5-page application, you can then get your money back. Ron DeSantis said, well, you're a Florida-based company. I'm going to work with the state AG to basically sue you for fraud. The next day they came back, GoFundMe, and said, okay, we're just going to give everyone's money back.
Yeah.
The end result still being everyone who supported that convoy, they're not going to get their money.
It's incredible.
Convoy.
I actually, here's what GoFundMe is
Excuse
all
me.
about, guys. Just let me throw this out here real quick. And
Okay,
then
this is what it's really
Jesse
about.
and Justin are going to go off on this. GoFundMe is an American for-profit crowdfunding platform that allows liberals to raise money for liberal causes and shut down free speech or steal money from people who actually have souls. So let me just throw that out there.
The fact check on that is true. That is
Ain't true. Ain't that it?
So they
Oh my
should
God.
have been breaking windows and burning things down and doing all that craziness up there, right? And then everything would have been fine.
When you guys, I don't know what you want to do with this, but I just sent you guys a tweet on Instagram.
Okay.
It's literally this pickup truck trying to get around this person that's pretending like it's Tiananmen Square, and he taps him, and it's like the worst insurance fraud video ever. The guy flies, he flies onto the ground, and Rebel News posted it like this is what they're saying is going on as violence. So it flops on the ground like a fish.
We'll link it up for the YouTube video so we can see it.
My God.
Hilarious.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, there it
Check
is.
out
Watch
right.
it. Watch
Are
this
you
guy go down.
serious?
Oh, and does the guy have a Trump flag?
He does.
Is that
He
what he
does.
has?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So
back!
silly.
My back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what's your guys' thoughts on the peaceful protest? We covered it a little bit on last week's episode. Or was that a short?
It was a few weeks ago. Yeah,
weeks
we
ago.
just had
Talking about peaceful protests, and you guys have been intimately involved with some of the pastors up there under persecution in Canada. We've interviewed some of those, Joe Boot and some other ones, and obviously Aaron Coates. But what's your thoughts on that? On someone peacefully protesting to stand up against the government?
I just don't know why they don't have guns there.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to give him a nice middle of the road layup, and he was like, "I don't know why we ain't got AKs there."
Well, I mean, it is funny because we do talk to Canadians all the time now. Like, I honestly don't think I had talked to a Canadian, at least that I knew, before like April of 2021. And now like half of our listeners are in Canada, and so like we follow up really close with all this stuff, and it's like, like that video that I sent you guys that'll hopefully be in the link somewhere because it's just too perfect. Like this is so they essentially have state-funded news organizations up there, the Canadian Broadcast System or the Canadian Broadcast Center or whatever corporation, but and it's
just
like
keep making up letters, buddy.
Yep. No, it's CBC. I know the letters. I don't know the words.
CBC. That's correct.
But it's like it's literally a propaganda campaign against these truckers who have literally just parked their trucks there. And then the rest is just dancing and hockey games and putting off fireworks.
Yeah, we got videos of hockey games going on. Like they set up this little spot where they literally have an HQ. Their security is run by a former RCMP, Royal Canadian.
Who's having problems with letters now, buddy?
Royal Canadian Mounted Police. He's a former RCMP sniper.
Did I hear a niner in there? Are you calling
that's a
from
niner. That's a
walkie-talkie?
10-niner. I am a trucker. I mean, after all, not actually like a big truck, just like a small one,
like a
small
Ranger.
brown one.
I got a Ranger.
Right.
I mean, I work for UPS. I drive a brown.
Oh,
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah, heck
Yeah,
yeah.
see that counts.
Yeah, you do.
I
Yeah.
can do a niner here and there.
Yeah.
I do a niner here and there.
So
That's your next T-shirt.
Roger. The most violence I saw was literally so now the farm implements are starting to get there. So you got farm tractors and hay balers. It's great stuff. They're literally pushing trucks out of the way, just real slow, just like pushing
massive
blockades
tractors
away.
They're just like, hey, we really wanted to get down this road here.
But the most violence I saw, they used one of the hay balers to literally like spray hay over a blockade of
Our CMP
MP
officers.
yeah, our MP officers, which
Nice.
is like a perfectly hilarious thing to do. You know, you drive your baler all the way up to Ottawa. You want to spray some hay.
Some hay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if I did that, I would shout out the window, sorry guys, it's gonna blow, I gotta get rid of this hay.
She's gonna blow. Yeah, absolutely. I heard that Ottawa actually kind of relented. One of the providences there in Ottawa relented and said, okay, no more restrictions and no more vaccine mandates or passports. I saw
So,
that come out 2 days ago.
Alberta did.
Okay.
But Jason Kenney, also the provincial premier in Alberta, also last year said once they eased restrictions after the spring, like as they were getting into the summer, he said never again with the restrictions, and then he re-upped them all. So it's it's like a real you just like, it's like, okay, like Alberta's supposed to be like Texas in Canada, like they're supposed to be like the gun toting whatever. And you know, I like, from the sentiment, at least from the people that we've been talking to, is like, okay, yay, but let's see if it lasts more than 2 months, because right now, or at least when he re-upped the lockdowns, they were the same limits on gathering as they were when James was put in jail.
Wow.
So basically, there's a lot of rhinos up there where you'd say there's a Republican, Republican in name only. There's a lot of conservatives who are not really conservative. They just have the tag. You know.
Yes.
Well,
Like so their conservative party, not a single person dissented for that bill C4, like the gender bill. It was a unanimous passing.
Which is a new word that we've just made. Unanimous.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
It's like unanimous and rhinoceros.
Yes, exactly. It's unanimous.
Oh my gosh,
Unanimous.
come right at him.
Yeah, well, maybe they just need to chill out there until they actually see legislation signed. So we're not leaving until you ram this through in 30
That's
days
kind of
or
what's
so.
happening right now.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean, they said 2
hunkered
weeks.
down.
They said 2 weeks to slow the spread, and here we are 2 years later. So it sounds like they're
Right.
the great thing is that, you know, they're parked. We saw the Liberty Coalition sent us a picture today of a truck, like a Ford F-150 or whatever. They literally
It was a Ram, but okay.
a Ram, whatever. They literally took the weird truck guy over here. They literally took the wheels off
And chained them
and
to the
chained
front.
them to the front of the truck. They're like, yeah, we're not going anywhere.
That's the thing. I mean, with just switching into big tech, you know, sensory and stuff. I mean, like, we obviously have all of these different videos. GoFundMe says something like, oh, well, this is like violent and they're doing all these different things. They're trying to push this narrative, all this propaganda. And it's like, well, we have like pictures and videos and of what's actually going on up there. It's like everybody's up there making cheeseburgers on their grill or something.
They're
and, you know, everybody's
tailgating.
like, oh my God,
literally
there's
tailgating.
fires.
Don't you guys?
And it's like, it's turning into something that it's absolutely not, you know. But I mean, how do we look at, you know, the discussion of how big tech is trying to spin all of these different stories and make them into something that they're obviously not, for their, you know, for what
nice
they
segue.
are trying to do, you know.
Let's officially end the news then.
And
Boom.
that was the newsy news.
Awesome. So let's get into it. So how do we, Jason?
Hey,
What do you
man,
think?
I don't have all the answers over here.
No, I was told. I came on this expecting. I was told.
You guys
Jason
are our
will tell us
guests.
Exactly how to fix the problems. I'm excited. That's why I came.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just a wild conversation, because I mean, how are we supposed to combat that? How do we combat Mark Zuckerberg? How do we I mean, like, you know, we've definitely been suppressed. I mean, just because we have brought up Republican ideas and
I'd just say liberty ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. we could
Just
say that.
regular, general,
Yeah, yeah.
conservative, freedom-loving person.
Or
Just
normal.
put all the cards on the table there.
Normal thought. Yeah. Right.
I'd like to be an individual. You shut your mouth, Jimmy.
None of this is my fault. I voted for Bernie.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you
But
make a great point. And part of the problem, and this maybe this will, I don't know if this will help continue the segue, Jay, but I'm trying here. I think part of the issue is
It'll be easy.
You look at the riots that happened in the United States over the summer of 2020, the summer of, you know, love and peace and joy in America.
Sure.
And when you see those protests, we'll say protests, and maybe we'll say protests.
Air quotes.
Air quotes. So the protest itself. Stop looking at the video of the guy falling down. Oh gosh. So you look at you see those.
We're gonna have to put this up.
He's gone. He's out for the
our
rest of the
Instagram,
episode.
guys.
Have a serious.
Go to our
conversation.
Instagram.
I'm sorry, I'm switching tabs.
All right, so when you look at how those went, right, and you literally have, right, like J.C. Penney's is burning in the background.
Yeah,
You have
they're
a
like, look at this
reporter with-
peaceful.
Right. Well, you have a
peaceful
reporter with a
protest.
gas mask down around their neck, and the chyron says fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
But with our eyes, we're saying that's just fire, like right
Turn
there.
around.
And
Yeah.
and so it's not even so much that they're trying to. They don't even feel the need to like censoriously spin what we're seeing. They feel that they can just ram down our throats what our eyes are literally telling us is happening is not actually happening.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's a problem there.
Yeah, that's what's disheartening for me is, okay, all four of us sitting in this room, we go, yeah, we can see that, but there are millions of Americans and, even more across the world that believe it, that just use no type of critical thinking, no type of logic, no type of common sense, no type of discernment, no type of wisdom. Some of those things come from a regenerated heart, obviously, but it's like, what are we going to, I get really scared of the
I'd
people
like to
who
think
don't,
God gave more common grace than that.
right?
No. I mean, it's gaslighting. It's like,
Have you guys
I
ever
don't
seen
know,
that movie, by the way, Gaslight? You ever see that movie?
I have not.
No, you're the second
but,
guest to bring that up too.
Yeah.
was
I
just
mean,
curious.
they tell you that you're crazy. You're never right. I mean, it's like, yeah, there's so many things.
Well,
that
they
they deny what you're seeing.
I want to assume that the guest told you how the movie worked so that we got the term right. So then your audience knows where it came from.
You go
Yeah,
explain,
you could-
explain it for us.
So
the
it was
movie
was
is-
it with
is
the light?
incredible. Yes, correct. There was
Light
literally
room.
it was a man who
It was a gaslight.
a woman
actually.
fell in love with a man, and the woman had come into a nice estate.
Wait a second. This is already starting out a little weird for 2022.
Don't worry, it's a
Ma-
black and white
Oh,
movie.
wait.
It was pretty sick back then. The man comes. They're living in the same
Black
house.
and
and
white.
He wants to get. It's an old movie.
Can he say
He wants-
black? Did you
I
say that in
know, right?
context? Did you say that in context?
And then he said a man fell in love with a woman. What's he
Jeez.
thinking?
Gosh, we are getting shadow banned.
It was a movie that lacked color. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you.
Is that better?
Movie.
That's
Is that
a
better?
movie.
There was
Yeah,
no
that's-
color in it at all.
It was a
That's even
movie
better.
movie of no
Even
color.
The
Okay, go
movie
ahead.
was. So the
Continue.
movie wasn't colored.
Nope, no color at
Oh,
all.
good
No.
Lord.
Oh,
Great, Jesse. Way to go. All right. So what I'm saying is, he fell in love with a woman. He was trying to get his money on her estate, and he would turn down the gas lights ever so slightly. And when she would say, "Oh, isn't it look a little dark here? Should we turn the lights up?" And he said, "No." He would say, "No. The lights are fine."
Yeah, it'd be like chilling
He
by
was-
the window reading a book.
He
and
was
he's like, "Oh, no."
slowly trying to make her feel that she had gone insane, although what she was seeing was absolutely correct. That's where we get the idea of gaslighting, and that is absolutely, it's explicitly now what is going
So
on.
what I do with my family with the thermostat in Michigan winters, I just slowly turn it down and go, what? I haven't felt any change. What do you-
That's exactly
Put on
it.
your
There you
winter
go.
jackets, kids.
put on a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I
socks
don't
and
do that.
slippers. What are your problem, eh? There, come on. It's
There
not
you
that
go.
bad.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for that explanation. Absolutely. So yeah, like
All right,
Jay said,
thank you,
it
guys.
is
I'm a nerd.
gaslighting.
Yeah.
But
Appreciate
so that's the quandary I get into is I go, okay, you see all these things happening. You see the 1984 Orwellian stuff happening. You see the gaslighting, all this. And then you go, okay, what's the biblical response to that? Do we take time out of our day to create platforms, to create types of tech that are God honoring and that promote, his kingdom and all those things? Or do we just go, well, no, we're in the world and not of the world? Maybe a misuse of that verse, but some would quote it that way.
just a scooch.
Yeah, well, that's how, I mean, you got to realize though, I talk to a lot of people that talk this way that are self-professing Christians that do, I'm in politics and I am a registered Republican, an elected official. I would say I'm closer to a libertarian conservative, but down here you have to, I align with the Republican platform, but the Republicans haven't followed that platform for almost 20 years. But I talk to a lot of middle of the road rhino. Hey, I'm a Bible believing Christian. I go to church every week. I can quote verses left and right, but their ideology is nowhere near where mine would be politically or biblically. So we have a lot of people out there that are self-professed Christians and that read the Bible, but they are being tricked by this, or they are taking part in social media things that are, like you said, gaslighting and all those things. So it's like, do we start with those guys? Do we create our own thing? Like, what do you think the answer is? I don't know. I don't think we're gonna solve it tonight, but I just thought
Nonsense. Everybody strap in.
We
This is
got
getting
this,
solved.
guys.
We're all getting on Getter, Parlor, and anything else that Donald Trump was a part of.
yeah,
The
that
funny thing
that
is
was-
that
Oh,
we're
whoops.
compromised.
Whoops. We are really
That
in
is the
trouble.
only
now.
free speech platform, and we all know it.
Oh my gosh, guys,
Yeah.
guys, really, dude, what is going on here?
But well, I mean, while you're searching whatever you're doing over there,
Just the Bible. Carry on. Just carry on.
It wasn't a man falling over.
I'll buy
was
you
just-
some time.
I was
I'll
just
buy-
flipping through this. I don't know. You know,
just the word of
I don't know
God.
what this is. but-
Whatever.
Gosh, I have to do a podcast with this guy. See what I'm up against here?
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as addressing the issue, it's hard, right? Because like the Christian in us, well, maybe I won't lump you guys into my thoughts. The Christian in me says, well, I want to be where the people are, and so of course I'm going to participate in things like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of those platforms because that's where people are and that's where I can get my message out. And I think where I've landed personally, this is just me personally, is I will use those platforms as much and as often as I need to or as I'm able to until I get kicked off of them. I mean, I don't see how we can dumb down or water down our message just for the sake of reach, because then the message is compromised. There's no point.
Mhm.
So I mean, as long as we keep sharing hard-hitting truths, whether we're shadow banned or not, at least those 3 people that liked it versus the 300 that like our kitty pictures, at least they're seeing it. But so I think the message has to stay faithful through and through, no matter what platform we're using.
Yeah.
Whether that's Gab or Facebook, because you're just dealing with different kinds of unrighteousness on the different platforms. You've got anti-Semitic people on one, and then you've got raging liberals on the other. So and you just
That's redundant.
You get to at this point.
It's the same group of people.
All right. All right, Karen Goldberg.
Karen Goldberg.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that our call as Christians is always to be faithful. Faithfulness is the metric. So we have to be faithful on Facebook. We have to be faithful on Twitter. We have to be faithful on Gab and Getter and Parler, even though they're lesser free speech platforms than Gab. So that's kind of the
just
way.
put done on the end of it. It would have been so much better.
Getter done.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been just so much
Yeah.
better. Why couldn't they just fix it?
Exactly.
That would have been funnier.
Gosh darn it.
I can't believe that guy's so smart, man. A lot of his stand-up, Larry the Cable Guy, didn't he invent this?
He was so intelligent. Get her done. He was so
Yeah.
smart.
No, he invented
Well,
Getter,
well,
right?
he invented the
social
whole-
media
he-
platform.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's his.
Are you wait?
I'm
No.
just joking.
Stop it. I thought you had an inside track I didn't know about.
Yeah.
I was about to be super impressed.
You've been swooned by the Michigan charm.
Like, yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Jason gets me
My
once
grandma.
an episode.
My grandma, she was out there.
He
They
did.
had beards and glasses. I assumed they were super intelligent.
Yeah, yeah.
But Donald Trump's on Gator now, so
Look behind them. I see books and bottles of possibly bourbon. I'm very
I
happy.
haven't read one of these books, by the way. And
The one, yeah,
I have had some of those though.
fundamentals of theoretical physics. I saw that one. And I was like, I don't think
they didn't.
No.
read it.
No,
That'd be Greg.
it's a picture book.
Yeah.
it's a big.
I like that
I
one.
think I put every.
the neutron.
Actually, I do have a book back here called "Everybody Poops."
That's a good one.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
That's one of the most accurate books I've ever read.
Yeah.
And have you seen the one where it's the dinosaur that says that all of my friends are dead? Have you ever read that book?
I've seen it. I've
No.
seen
That's
it.
also a very accurate book about
Oh,
death.
I
Helping
need
kids
to get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So
No, go- yeah, try to bring this back around really quick. I think
I
I
said
would.
you were looking up Bible passages.
I have one. I'm just kidding. I don't feel like
I'm,
it's a good time
I'm
to insert
looking
the
up Bible passages. By the way, have you read
Ah.
All My Friends Are Dead? That's.
Yeah.
But I like everything you said. the only thing that really gets me too is when we have
Rehab with Jericho.
Facebook Christians, when you have social media Christians. It's like, dude, if you're doing more ministering online, then if you're doing more discipling, air quotes, online, you're posting your verses and your favorite theologian, and that's where you think discipleship is, and not in person, not to your neighbor, not to those that you come in contact with every day. That frustrates me a little bit. And sometimes I see us slipping into that as believers. Hey, I posted my snarky quote, or I posted my Bible verse, or I made my little 3-minute video talking about whatever. And it's like, that's fine to have that reach on social media. I just don't want to see believers slipping into thinking that's where we dwell, when we're supposed to be in the world discipling others, the very first commandment Christ gives us. That's a danger to me. But the second part of that is, so we do take time. You guys think, and Jason, I'm asking you too, you guys think we do take time to create platforms that are God glorifying? You think that would be a beneficial thing? And do you think that's supported biblically to do that?
I think we either create them or join them if they're already there. I don't see why not. So like what I've been doing is I've been posting, like as far as things in written form on all my personal accounts, I've been posting them on Gab, and I've screenshotted them and I've shared them, the screenshot itself, on Instagram and Facebook. Like no text, just the post itself with the Gab banner right on top. Just let everybody know.
Yeah.
You know, like so I mean, like, yeah, I absolutely think that. But I do, like I said, the Christian in me says, well, we can't just leave Facebook if there are people on there that need to see truth. And if you're going to be on Facebook, you better be speaking truth, because if you're not speaking truth on Facebook, then there's no reason for you to be on it. So I say wherever you are, you must be speaking truth. But I don't think that you need to be compelled to be on any particular platform.
Sure.
It did crack me up the other day when Facebook lost like billions and billions of dollars, though. That was kind of funny. But
here's the problem with that, Jay. They're not the worst one. Like, of all the ones that we want to lose money, Twitter just needs to literally
die.
And die like a cut road.
Like,
I see what you did there.
It was pretty for a
I'm
couple
not-
weeks. Now it should shrivel and die. We throw it out in the trash. That's
right.
And then we say, who's next?
I mean, the problem with Facebook, I mean, there's a few, but I mean, you know, with their we have to watch our words now on this thing when they're talking about the jab, whenever you bring up anything about the virus, it's this little, thing at the bottom that says this might not be true, what they just said. And it's like something that is data proved from the CDC even. And they want to take this thing that you just said and tell everyone that you're wrong, and that, they need to fact check it. And then who's the fact check people? I mean, we've all heard about
the people that write the editorials.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook said.
Well, and it's like it's like an 18-year-old.
Mr. Paul, Senator Paul. Yes, your facts are wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an 18, 19-year-old that's all of a sudden a fact checker, that doesn't even know the facts.
That's because I find his facts very accurate and his reporting is very timely. And
I am the science, Dr. Paul.
That is so good.
That's pretty good.
I've had too much practice right now with Fauci.
You have to.
Is he from Jersey too? You guys just had these Jersey, man.
They're all evil. Everything.
You
They're
have
from
to
the north.
cinch
They're from the north.
bags very tight over the head of the dogs,
The sand fleas will eat
so
them.
that the sand fleas do not get out.
And this is why we take the vocal cords out, because the sand fleas are it's just not good. Have you ever heard a beagle cry?
My hypothesis was that it would be quick and quiet.
It was
My
Bon
hypothesis
Jovi.
was wrong.
It was neither.
It was
neither
wrong.
quick nor quiet. It was very loud.
You guys need to get all the way down to Atlantic City and just go ahead and take that on the road. All right.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
So it's almost a tying together of what we're saying here. We have clear biblical principles. Biblical principles. God's word tells us, right, that we should go and make disciples. It's not even stop laughing.
We just segued from Fauci to the clear biblical.
That's what we do on the Dead Man Walking podcast.
No, you can't.
Watch how he's going to bring this home. Watch us. It's going to be beautiful.
And he's like, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay.
We have
Go
biblical
ahead.
principles, and the biblical principles. Excuse me. The biblical principles tell us very clearly with data. No, so we're dealing with the reality that we are all individuals, and that there is something clear about discipleship, as Christ has commanded us to go and carry his word, that requires us to go physically and carry his word, which means we believe somehow that we can better proclaim Christ as we tweet, right? Or as we type a just a little rant here on Facebook, right? That's the better proclaiming of Christ, but we literally leave him in the car as we walk into the local grocery store or into work, right? Or geez, as we walk into church, right? Like there's something we're missing. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. If we're going to be on these platforms, may we glorify God on these platforms, right? Whatever you do it to the glory of God, as Paul would tell us. But at the same time, we're more apt to find someone we disagree, and that's essentially what social media does. It promotes your feed with things you'll disagree with, because when you're enraged, you're more likely to interact, and so we're more likely to find some discussion that we can jump into and tell them they're wrong, and think that we're doing a good job with the gospel. And again, right? I mean, when we engage, we should engage intelligently and biblically, right? With a focus to give a reason for the hope that is within us. And let's do that. But let's not think that's where it ends, right? Because at the end of the day, we know we're not trying to convince the original poster, right? The OP. We're trying to make sure that there's a good argument for those that are interacting. But my goodness, if it's not as important for the person that's ringing you up at the grocery store, then I don't know what is, and I don't know why there's a disconnect there. And it's certainly not, the social media wars is not where it's going to be won. Yes, we engage there,
Right.
But if we leave that behind, we have failed. We have failed the mission when we're not carrying it into the actual real life that we live, right? And God forbid that whether Greg, Jason, Jesse, or me, or I die, and they're like, well, he was a good guy. I don't want to be a good guy. I want to be a gospel guy. I want to be a guy that loved Jesus Christ, and that's what they said. Sorry, I ranted.
Amen.
He did bring it home. See, I told you.
You are a preacher.
You are. Well, and that's why we appreciate you guys as well too, as we put bookends on this episode. It's like when I was talking to you down at G3 and I see what you guys do online, and you're putting your money where your mouth is, right? It's not like, oh, I'm doing this podcast and we're talking for a little bit and then we make some snarky posts on online, which you guys do, and I love and keep doing those. But it's like we're raising funds, we're bringing awareness, we're supporting ministries, all with your t-shirt sales and the things you do in the podcast. And that's why I find you guys interesting, is because I'm drawn to people of action, right? Of people who take the Great Commission and put it in action. We're reformed. We're not nihilists. We don't sit back and go, oh, well, what can we do? It's all decided. No, we are commanded to go out. We're commanded to preach the good news, make disciples. I've always said we need less pastors, more disciples in the United States. I think you guys are two disciples. Well, it's a general statement. It's not every pastor.
It's not bad. I'm just saying that's the one that hits home. That's
I'm just saying everyone has a ministry and is a pastor, and half those people probably shouldn't. Zeal without knowledge, right? My point is,
starts in your families, everybody.
He's speaking our love language.
Get in your homes and be pastor dad first. Stop screwing
there
around.
You go. Absolutely.
Are you guys blocked by the Gospel Coalition too? Because we are. Are we?
I'm just blocked. No, I don't think we really interact with them online at all. They've
we don't anymore either.
That's a good choice here.
Yeah, not by your choice, but
that's a good choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why we appreciate you guys too. And that's why I think this is a balanced conversation about tech. I don't think we just exit everything, because like you guys were saying, we have to have a presence there, right? Truth has to have a presence among lies and deception and all those things. So I don't like it when I see these guys go, oh, we're going to go start the Christian this and everyone exit over there. It's like, well, no, we still have to have a presence there, but it also has to be balanced that we're just not there. We're just not online. You just said it. We're not going to win the war online. We're going to win it by being out in our communities, obviously leading our families as men, as the head of the home, and then discipling those that we come in contact with, that lady or that man in the store or wherever you're going. So I think it's a balanced approach to that. My concern is how important do we make that? Like who do we have on? Rod Martin, right? He was one of the founders or one of the main investors in PayPal. Then he's in a space race right now with his company against Elon Musk. He does all kinds of stuff in tech. I mean, he's like, no, he's a futurist. Like we are creating medical devices. He
wants to have the
tech
first
platforms.
Church on the moon.
He wants to have the first church on the moon. On the moon.
Rod is awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Rod is.
Yeah, go check him out if you don't.
But Buzz Aldrin already had communion.
Great.
Oh, did he?
Did you guys know this? You guys really need to. Oh man.
Really?
Oh man. Why is history? Is
Wait a
so-
minute. I
Yes.
thought
You know
the
this?
no, I thought the moon was hollow
No,
and there's a
somebody
civilization
erased
living
that.
inside.
From the
They got
books.
really ticked at him too. Actually, Neil Armstrong wasn't. I mean, he wasn't really ticked, but he wasn't super happy. And they definitely weren't happy about it when from Mission Control, because it was hard. It's there's zero gravity as you're orbiting the moon, right? So
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah, I
the
guess, I don't
wafer,
know.
right? The wafer. I mean, the people that orbited the moon, lots of these guys were literally deacons in their churches. They were serving in their churches, and people don't realize. Just of course, it's also partly their fault that the church became a social club. So I mean, I don't want to give it like, but at the same time, they were also doing great things. Like they were also
Yeah.
engaged with them. But what you're saying, it makes me think of two things. And we didn't bring any Bible in yet, so it makes me feel bad. So Paul tells Timothy very clearly, right, to preach the word in and out of season. And that's one of the things that we need to engage in. Sometimes look, right now, there is no word that's in season when it comes from God's word. Nobody wants to hear what the truth is, but that doesn't mean we don't preach it. In fact, the call is to preach it literally, even when it is out of season, when it is not popular, when it is unwanted, because what it really is needed, right? That's the reality of the word. And so we need to engage with that on all the social media platforms, as well as in our churches, where for some reason we've left the word behind as we continue to go through our church, everyday church lives, as we interact with small groups, and as we go on Sundays, we've left the word behind for feel good, self-help courses. But what we need to engage with here is this other reality. We need to see the times too. So it's not just a word right spoken, it's a word fitly spoken. It needs to actually mesh with what's going on. And when we look at First Chronicles 12, sorry, we're going Old Testament, as all these different men are coming to David, as they realize that God has actually selected David. David is to be the new king. Saul is to no longer be king of Israel. You have all these men separated by tribes, right? And they're all good at stuff. Some of them can throw these massive spears, and some of them have, thousands of archers. And you come up to verse 32, and it starts talking about the tribe of Issachar. And it says in First Chronicles 12:32, of Issachar, men who had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do, 200 chiefs and all their kinsmen under their command. So it wasn't just, they understood the times, they knew what Israel ought to do. So what we need to be is sharpened men and women of God who see these times. We need to see progressivism as it creeps in, because it's creeping in everywhere. We need to see things that are false ideologies creeping in from Marxism, like cultural Marxism and CRT. We need to see the divisions that's trying to cause, and we need to speak the truth back onto it clearly, right? We need to clearly speak that truth. We need to fit it correctly. So if we don't know the word and know what's going on, we're not going to be able to do that. So that doesn't mean we abandon social media. Sure, we engage with social media, but we also must engage culturally, because we're not going to begin to reform the culture if we don't reform our homes and our churches and our neighborhoods. If we don't start there, nothing's going to be changed.
Love it. That's a
Yep.
good word.
Amen.
I think maybe we should wrap on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
I'm so sorry I talked too much. I apologize.
no, it's awesome.
No,
That's exactly what we love.
That's what podcasts are. People
I mean,
talking.
it's important
too
to identify
much.
some of these men in our culture, men of Issachar, like Tim Keller and Russell Moore.
You stop it
And,
right now. You cut that. Edit that out.
Cut it.
We'll bleep those two words out.
Oh, dude, if you do that, that'd be so awesome.
You know what's funny is when James White posted something about Tim Keller making some vague quote or statement, and then a day later following it up with some, oh, you didn't understand it. I said, that was like 6 months ago. And I was like, yeah, he does kind of do that. And now every single time I see a Tim Keller quote, I'm like, that's exactly what he's doing. He does some weird vague thing that gets everyone all upset. And then he's like, oh no, that's not what I meant. And it's like, well, no, you clearly, you know what I mean? He plays like both sides of the coin. Gosh, it's frustrating.
It's
Shout
shout
out to Dr. White.
It's wildly frustrating, and,
Oh, yeah,
and
always
it's
shout out,
really it's really disingenuous. Like
Yeah.
And then he gets it. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, the fact that he's responding to these now is like it makes it worse, because it's like he's trying to do this Trump thing where like he's doubling down, but he's like doing it wrong. Well, I mean, Trump did it wrong a lot of times too, but it's like he's doubling down wrong. It's like, I wasn't talking about this. You misread the context. Here's the context. And it's like, well, no, the first post had no context. It was just Yoda talk. And it's like, no one knew what you meant. Like, here's how you know that no one knows. Here's how you know that he's not getting any point across is when you read the comments and everyone takes away something completely different from it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, that really spoke to me.
All
My
of his
mom's got
followers, man.
cancer.
Yeah.
And, it really spoke to me because yesterday she said that, she was crying. And then you mentioned something about moisture and it really spoke to me.
Yeah.
And then like a couple comments down, they're like, yeah, my dog just died. And when he died, he evacuated his bowels and the moisture. And it's like nobody's saying the same thing about his bowels. Like you just got to read the comments. And it's like, I agree with you. I agree with you, Greg. Like it did take me a while because like, when you read it, you're like, wow, that's some next level. That's some Christian fortune cookie stuff right there.
Exactly.
I feel better about what I just read.
Yeah.
And then when like you're reading it and then you're like, wait a second, hold on. I don't have to think Tim Keller's a god. What is he actually saying here?
No, go back.
Yeah.
No, this makes no sense at all.
I love that you're trying to
never
wrap
does.
up. And
No,
No, it's
I was actually trying to search the post that he commented on of ours on
we
our
had
Facebook page. I couldn't remember what it was.
All of his followers jumped on our.
And it was
Oh my
it had
gosh,
100,000 views, and there
Yeah.
was like all his guys were
All
like,
his
"You got
followers
what was it on?
were. Oh, they were angry. They were just like, oh, look at who said it though. They were like, Dead Man Walking podcast. Roll their eyes, have the roll the eyes emoji or whatever. Like these
While
guys
you're
don't know what they're
finding out,
talking.
listen to this one from his post from January 20th, right? He says, I've noticed a pattern on Facebook. This is my snooty voice. I know this isn't how Tim Keller sounds.
I think it is.
Noticed a
That's how it
pattern on
sounds.
Facebook. I usually just post here what I've stated in sermons or in books. I put them in general principle form, though in specific context. A speaker must provide caveats, qualifiers, and clarification.
Is Tim
Caveats,
Keller
qualifiers,
is Tim Keller Stewie?
and
From
clarification.
Family Guy?
Big stack of paper.
Brian, Cool Whip.
So he literally, and then he puts it in quotes, CQCs, caveats, qualifiers, and clarifications. And this is what I said. I said, the problem is that Keller thinks he gives clarifiers, caveats, qualifiers, and clarifications, but he rarely does. The statements he often makes are pithy, indirect, and ambiguous, leaving the reader either going, huh? Or has them coming away thinking they understand something brilliant while not really understanding anything at all. And this is evident in the comment section where everyone's pulled away something different. And it's like that's just geez
What's
Louise.
the newest story that just came out with Stephen Colbert? He had
Yeah,
someone
they're all
on it, and
congratulating him.
They're all congratulating.
He's there his face.
It was that exact
Tim
same thing.
Keller's like, I wish there were more people like this out there.
No, is that
More
exact same
Christians
thing?
that do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was very ambiguous, and it's we should engage the culture in this way. And it's and then he walks everything back. I don't know how this became the
No offense to Stephen Colbert, the man wouldn't know the Christian faith if it smacked him in the face when he woke up in the morning. And the reality of it is, I don't have time for someone who has a body of public work, everybody, that we can go back and watch. We don't have to wonder what he meant or thought. We can watch it. It's there on video.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
I don't have to wonder what you believe. All right. Oh no, it was all satire. Well, you should really rethink your entire. You can't do that. You can't be all satire and think people can then evaluate what you're saying as true.
Yeah.
Now you want to go after some sort of clapter as you sit there and march out just progressive ideology. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't match up with what God's word says. You can't hold those views and also believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and spoke clear, God-centered truth. You just can't do it. It's not possible.
Yeah. I mean,
Now you pissed me off, guys. Stop it.
again for the
Do it.
second time.
Great.
Yeah, there was a tweet where it's like Big Eve is gushing over Colbert sharing his faith, and it's Tim Keller. This is a brilliant example of how to be a Christian. Jackie Hill Perry, brilliant response. Anthony Bradley, a Protestant would not have been able to do that. And then they post a clip of John MacArthur on Larry King Live, just wrecking some, dropping some truth bombs. He's just firing them away. And he's like, no, this is how you do it, guys.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my favorite is on Larry King Live with Joel Osteen.
I'm very careful about saying who would and wouldn't go to heaven. I just think that only God can judge a person's heart.
I don't know, Larry. I don't know. I can't do it, Larry. I just can't judge a person's heart. And the best, someone put, you guys need to go back and watch that, because Larry King is like, it's going over his head. He's like, but I'm a Jew. Am I going to hell? And he's like, but Larry, I can't judge your heart. He's like, I don't believe in God. Where am I going? And he's like, Larry, let me finish, Larry. Oh, it's the best.
I'm sorry, Joel. What are you trying to say here?
Cringe.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's get some social media plugs out for you guys. Tell everyone, and we'll make sure we link this up on the podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Getter, everywhere we post. Tell everyone where they can find you and what you guys got going on right now in your life.
So we are on Facebook. We are on Twitter at Carpe Fide. We are on Instagram, which is where we
We have
probably do
made
the
it
most.
so easy, everybody. If you search Carpe, Carpe,
He cannot let me talk. for 10
Fide,
seconds.
Fide, you cannot not find us.
You
You
can't do it.
cannot not find us.
I love it.
We're the only ones.
We are the only ones.
Amen.
They
You
were
are.
asking where we are though. So we're on Facebook and Twitter. We're also on Instagram at Carpe Fide Podcast. We're on Gab at Carpe Fide as well.
There you
Search
go.
Spotify. You can search LinkedIn. No, we're not on LinkedIn. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I mean you
It's
can
on
find our
LinkedIn.
podcast anywhere. I mean everyone
We're
always says
looking
that.
for a new job after
Everyone-
this.
You're on LinkedIn.
Follow us on Spotify and Apple and anywhere else
Like
you
I'm-
listen to
I'm on
podcasts.
MySpace, Friendster.
MySpace is so much better now. It's like nobody's on. It's like so decluttered. I can just do whatever I want on MySpace.
Can we tell you guys? Can we tell you guys about what we're doing currently right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just for a hot second. So Justin is modeling this sweatshirt right now, and you cannot see it, but it says "Hold the Line" on it. It's kind of etched into an old style army helmet.
Yeah.
With Daniel 318 on it. Now Daniel 318.
Nice.
That's where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are standing while everyone else is kneeling to Nebuchadnezzar's statue. And the message on this is "Hold the line." And so what we're doing with this design is we've got shirts and hoodies, and we're going to be donating 20% to they're called the Liberty Coalition Canada. They are on the ground in Ottawa right now, and they need funds to keep going, to keep recording, to keep having people there. And so we don't like fake news. I mean, do you guys like fake news? I mean,
Absolutely.
nobody really
mean,
nobody likes
whoops.
fake news. I'm like, wait a second.
I don't want to have to think about my news.
You guys aren't like
Jason-
those-
Jason
aren't
would be
those
the guy
plants
that's
on
like,
January
put-
6th, right?
Jason's the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that's like, put me back in the
No.
Matrix as long as I come back with steak and $1
You
million.
can have the red pill or the blue pill. That's not even an option. Give me that blue one, buddy.
What happens
So,
if I take both?
Oh, I did take both, baby.
So
So that's what we're doing this month. So 20% of any of our funds coming in will go to the Liberty Coalition. We also have a really awesome, really rockin' abolitionist shirt right now to abolish abortion, and we've got 20% going to free the states right now for that too.
Nice.
That's
Beautiful.
pretty dope.
Do you guys have any discount codes for those?
Have you ever? Let me
Wait,
ask you.
what?
No, this is a legit question. Jay, have you ever? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to print T-shirts, like
Yeah.
acquire the merchandise and print them yourselves?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used
Here's
to be
the
in a
deal.
band.
He was
Our
an
discount-
internationally
I-
touring
Yeah, yeah,
musician.
yeah. I
so
was in a band, so yeah.
Yeah. So then you know our discount code is the fact that we make nothing and we just give money away. That's the discount code.
If you nothing.
That's usually
everything.
Well, here's the thing.
Except for
Here's the
copyright.
thing. Whenever someone is trying to sell something or have a subscription or whatever, somebody's like, "Can I get a discount code from you?" And it's like, why do you always ask for a discount code? Like I'm just trying to sell something, like but
Listen, Dead Men Walking.
obviously-
I'll give you guys a discount code when you put that sticker I gave Greg at G3 on your laptop. Okay.
Oh no.
it isn't on there.
I would have put it
Greg has
on.
been
You should have gave
out.
it to me.
Oh man.
The judgment is swift, my friend.
I'm just
I'll
messing with you.
I'll get it on there.
Legit, what we would love your listeners to know, we really don't. This is not a business thing. We just like to give money away to people that
Amen.
are actually doing stuff.
Yeah. We make
so
money
I-
going to our job.
Yeah.
yeah,
no,
we
I-
work jobs full time. This is
I
not
have-
a money making thing. This is giving money away.
No, that's what I was saying earlier too. And if for anyone still listening,
Yeah, nobody
Uh,
is.
you guys do.
No.
You guys do it at cost. Any money you make, you're giving it to those those people or those what's the word I'm looking for? Ministries, organizations.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You know, and
Christ-centered, godly places.
he's
Yes.
got all.
Amen.
They got these cool shirts with like the design and the scripture verse, and all we have is like wine 'em, dine 'em, Romans
I
9 'em.
know.
We really
Hey,
need
but
to
it's
step up
clever.
our
No,
game.
Clever is good. Clever is good.
Like-
We'll talk later. We do some design work for you, buddy. Don't you worry. We'll take care of you. man.
All right, I like it. So offline, make sure you get us all that
As
information.
we
too
do
on that.
design work, it's really me. So he just volunteered.
I just have the ideas, and then Jesse makes it look great.
There There you go.
Idea guy.
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, we're going to wrap this one up, guys. We appreciate you jumping on with us, hanging out, having fun. That's what it's all about.
Thank you
This,
so much,
this
guys.
podcast got sideways a few times, but we always brought it home.
Yeah.
You guys are brothers in the Lord. We appreciate you taking time with us. And as always, guys, make sure you check us out, www.dmwpodcast.com. Sorry, talking a little fast there. And we're on Instagram.
WMD?
Facebook,
Oh no.
Oh, weapons of mass destruction. What?
weaponsofmassdestruction.com.
Aces in the hole. Atlantic City.
Right. Oh, good Lord. But we appreciate you guys listening. Jason, do we have anything else before we head
No,
out?
thank you guys for listening. And
Carpe
thank you guys
Fide.
for
Go
being
check
with
them
us.
out. Check them out.
Yeah.
As always, guys.
Yeah, check out Dead Men Walking too. They're great. They're great. They're great.
Yeah.
As always, God bless. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Dead Men Walking Podcast for full video podcast episodes and clips, or email us at deadmenwalkingpodcast@gmail.com.